Welcome again to this new Automate tutorial. In this video, I will continue the No More Login series. In order to summarize that we have done in the previous video, I will say that we have programmed an Arduino Leonardo to serve us as an Automate login device, to log in our computer by sending the password and clicking Enter. As we stated back then, the device only makes sense in a secure environment, so we wanted to make it more bulletproof, so to speak. And we are going to do that by coding a server that we will run in our computer. That will control the Arduino Leonardo and instruct it to send the password, instead of having a button. By doing this, we will make the system more secure and will bring us the possibility to expand our remote control possibilities, since our server can be controlled in its turn by many other remote devices. And how we are going to do this? Well, by using NodeJS language. Simply because I think for scripting tasks, this language can very handy. Node.js have many features and libraries that make it super fast and easy to play with. The server that I will show to you will be receiving signal through UDP protocol from external devices. And why UDP? Well, simply because it's super easy to implement and has a very good advantage, which is that you don't need to provide an IP destination. As you may know, with UDP, you can broadcast signals and the servers listening will catch the signals and will react to them. Of course, using UDP have disadvantages as well, but we will deal with them in the future videos. Also, we will need a way to communicate with the Leonardo board through the USB. So let's get into it. So for communicate with the Leonardo board, we will use this library. Take time to explore this incredible library, as you will see it has many features to do many things with devices through the USB. Bear in mind that you will have to install this version. We will need two modules from this library, the auto-detect to find our device by the serial number, and the serial port to write messages to it, in our case, to instruct it to send the password back as a keyword input, as we saw in the previous video. As you can see in the code, we also import the libraries needed to communicate with UDP. We will configure a server and a client in order to receive and send messages. We will be using the IP library as well to get the local IP network. By replacing the ending part of your local IP, you will be able to broadcast to the entire local network. As you can see, we have two main parts in the code. We have the UDP configuration that sets the port that we will be using and the actions that will be executing in the message reception. On the other hand, we have the serial port initialization and functions that will be finding the serial port, get serial path and init, and writing to the port, send message to Arduino. So basically, at the moment the program starts, the function init serial is executed. The binding module lists the ports and execute the getSerialPath and init function. This function loops through the ports and finds our Leonardo board by the serial number. You will have to modify this string in order to put the serial number of your board. You can know the serial number by printing all the serial numbers of boards. Once the board is found, we initialize the serial port object and assign it to the shared variable, so it can be used by other functions. We set the behavior of the program in case of an error by doing this. When an incoming message is detected by the server containing certain string, an attempt to send a message to Leonardo is executed. The message will contain our password. By this way, the password will not be stored in the Leonardo board, but in your laptop or computer. As you can see, also in here, we handle possible errors. We do that basically just to do our code more resilient to certain situations. For example, if the USB got disconnected after being initialized, or the serial port was never initialized due to starting the program without the USB connected. This situation will be handled by the program by reinitializing and resending the message. Now that we know how to handle the server part, we will be doing modifications to our Arduino Leonardo sketch accordingly, in order to handle the incoming message from the computer. As you may remember, we were sending the password at the button press. In this case, we will be listening to the serial in the Arduino loop by serial read string function. And finally, doing exactly the same as for the button press was doing. You will be probably asking yourself, how can I test this? Well, basically, we can do this with another piece of code that I have prepared for you. This NodeJS script that I call UDP Server client is a very simple code that is able to send and receive UDP messages as well. And it will send whatever you type in the console where you execute the script. We will be using this script tool in future videos, since it's very handy. For now, you will have to send what our server is expecting to execute its task. If you remember, we also configured a client in our server. This client will respond on a successful action. And finally, we will receive in our UDP server client that message that will let us know that everything went well. Of course, it will be more fun if you do it from another computer. Basically, to let you know and feel the potential of the work we are doing. That is basically it. Please let me know in the comments if you have any doubts. In the next video of the series, I will show you how can we send this UDP message from an Android device in a very practical way, so you can log into your computer from your phone. Thanks, and I see you in the next one.